The night was clear. The air was calm. It was October 21st, 1978. A regular Saturday evening. 20-year-old Frederick Valentich, a keen pilot, set off on a routine training flight from Melbourne, Australia. He was heading to King Island, a small island in the Bass Strait. He had no idea this flight would turn into one of aviation's biggest mysteries. Valentich was in touch with Melbourne air traffic control. Everything seemed fine. He was flying his Cessna 182L, a plane he knew well. The weather was clear, and visibility was good. He had done this trip many times before, which made what happened next even stranger. As Valentich flew over the Bass Strait, something odd happened. He called Melbourne air traffic control, sounding confused and scared. He said there was an unidentified object hovering above his plane. This was the start of a chilling conversation that would become a famous, unexplained mystery. Frederick Valentich wasn't just a pilot. He was a young guy who loved flying. He wanted to make a career out of it, spending lots of time learning and working towards his pilot's license. For Valentich, flying was more than just a hobby. It was his passion. He was known for being very careful and thorough when it came to flying. Valentich always followed safety rules and never took unnecessary risks. This makes his mysterious disappearance even more confusing. Why would a careful and experienced pilot like Valentich report something so strange and dangerous? Everyone who knew him could see how much he loved flying. He was seen as a skilled and responsible pilot, always excited to fly. His disappearance shocked the aviation community and beyond, leaving everyone to wonder what happened to him that night. Around 7:06 p.m., while flying over the Bass Strait, Valentich called air traffic control for help. He said there was a fast-moving aircraft above him that he couldn't identify. He described it as a long object with 4 bright lights. Air traffic control was surprised and checked for any known aircraft nearby. There were none. The mystery grew. Valentich said the strange object was circling his plane, like it was playing with him. At first, Valentich sounded calm, but soon fear started to show in his voice. He then reported the object was right in front of his plane, as if it was toying with him. The object was moving in ways no known aircraft could at that time. The situation was getting stranger, and air traffic control couldn't explain what was happening to the worried pilot. The last moments of Valentich's radio call are the most eerie. At 7:12 p.m., after 6 minutes of frantic talking, a metallic scraping noise cut through the call. Then, silence. Valentich, his plane, and the strange object disappeared without a trace. He said the object was hovering, and then, the most unsettling part, he said, "It is hovering, and it's not an aircraft." What did Valentich see in those last moments? The mystery only grew with no wreckage found. Right after Valentich went missing, Australian authorities started a big air and sea search. They searched a huge area of the Bass Strait, focusing on where Valentich's last message came from. Even with all their efforts, they never found any sign of Valentich's plane. The search was difficult because the technology back then wasn't very advanced. The official search ended after a few days, but the mystery of Valentich's disappearance remained. The most common idea about Valentich's disappearance is that he saw a UFO. His detailed description of the strange object and his scared final words suggest an alien encounter. Supporters say There's no other good explanation. The official reason of pilot error doesn't make sense to those who knew Valentich. The lack of wreckage supports the UFO idea. Valentich's case isn't the only one. Other pilots have reported similar things. Could there be more to these sightings than we think? While the UFO idea is the most popular, there are other explanations for Valentich's disappearance. Some of these ideas are less exciting, but make more sense based on what we know. One idea is that Valentich got confused and thought his plane was upside down. This confusion, along with the darkness and the water's reflection, might have caused him to crash into the sea. Another idea is that Valentich might have faked his own disappearance. This idea is less likely, but is sometimes suggested in cases of missing planes. However, there's no proof that Valentich wanted to disappear, and people who knew him don't believe this idea. Even after all these years and many investigations, we still don't know what happened to Frederick Valentich. There's no solid proof, and the strange way he disappeared keeps people guessing and talking. Frederick Valentich's case shows us how big and mysterious our world can be. It makes us realize that there are things we still don't understand. The mystery of Frederick Valentich is a warning for those who explore the unknown. It reminds us that even with all our technology, some things remain unexplained. Frederick Valentich's disappearance still grabs people's attention worldwide. His story is in many books, documentaries, and podcasts, making sure we don't forget about him and the mystery. Valentich's case has made a big impact on UFO research. It's seen as one of the most believable UFO encounters and is still studied and talked about by many. Frederick Valentich's story shows how powerful a mystery can be.